what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ben. This is my 2002 TW200, and today we're going to talk skid plate options. So much like everybody else, my TW started out its life with this little aluminum can stuck to the bottom of it, basically a very, very minimal skid plate that did do, well, a little bit of protecting, but obviously is not going to last very long and is definitely not going to withstand any large impacts. So that's why I purchased this Ricochet plate, which definitely also saw a little bit of action and is a little worse for the wear, but definitely still in pretty good condition. And I would say a good skid plate, easy enough to mount up, obviously a little bit more complex than the single fastener and hook design that the stock tin can had. And thanks to my sponsor, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, we've got the new Tusk Skid Plate here for the TW200. I guess new-ish. It came out last summer, I believe, and it was supposed to come along with us on our TW-AT adventure, but I just ran out of time. So today we'll be installing it, but before I do that, I just kind of wanted to show you them all side by side so you can kind of get an idea of what you're gonna be getting if you decide to go with one of these. As far as mounting goes, they're gonna get mounted the exact same way in the exact same places. Up front here, these are just gonna attach to the front frame bolt. In the back section, we've just got two clamps that are gonna go over the rear frame rail. And I will show you the actual installation process of this, but for now, we're just gonna look at the differences. As far as the overall shape of both of these, they are relatively similar. However, there are some pretty major differences when you really look at them closely. For one thing, the Ricochet plate has 1, 2, 3 sort of smaller bends, where the Tusk plate has just 1, 2 larger bends. And I believe the plate is actually going to sit a little bit closer to the bike because of that, rather than sort of going up and out. And on the left side of the Ricochet plate here, we've got this rather large protrusion, which originally I thought meant actually more protection, but I believe the Tusk plate actually provides a bit more. The dimension from this side to this side, I believe, is about the same. Yeah, maybe just a hair different, but obviously pretty close there. And the reason that I say that the Tusk plate is then going to give you more protection is because rather than having sort of a cutout here, we've got just basically a straight line from the side of the plate down here to the top lobe. On the right side, we are again working with 3 kind of junction points here. It's not really a bend, it's a weld. Where on the Tusk plate, you've just got the 2. So, I mean, technically, maybe that's a little bit better, less room for error, but obviously not going to be a huge deal as long as you get a plate that's welded properly. The drain bolt hole is a little bit bigger, or a little bit longer, I guess I should say, on the Ricochet plate compared to the Tusk, and obviously looking at it this way is probably fairly inaccurate, but it does seem like there is maybe a slight difference there. Probably not a huge deal, but the Tusk plate does seem like it's a little bit smaller. As far as material thickness, it looks like they are just about the same. Maybe the Tusk plate is a hair thicker. And I believe the back half here is also just about the same size, nothing too different there. As for the bottom of the plates, other than my Ricochet plate being well used, everything looks pretty similar. Fasteners are all pretty comparable. I mean, I guess maybe these are a little bit less attractive than the Torx head fasteners on the Tusk plate, but really pretty similar. So with the fronts lined up here, you should be able to kind of see what I was talking about as far as the Tusk plate sitting a bit tighter to the bike. So on the left here, the Ricochet plate obviously has to come down and then make a couple bends here, meaning that it's going to be sort of dished out in front of the frame and the engine, where the Tusk plate here is going to basically take the sharpest angles that it can, meaning that it's going to be much closer to the bike. Now, of course, that's a good thing for clearance, but this would give you a little bit more of a crumple zone, I suppose, if that's something that you're concerned about. Probably not going to really be able to smash these plates up enough that it would matter, but just in case, I suppose it is worth mentioning. And I suppose just to give you guys a little bit better idea of how that's actually going to look on the bike, we might as well throw the Ricochet plate back on quick, and then we'll stick the Tusk plate on and see if we can tell any difference. So installation is really pretty simple. These just hook over the back frame rail right in front of the rear tire. Up front, we just got to attach these, remove the original fastener that goes through the frame and the engine, and then just replace it with the one that they give us. So all these fasteners are loose. Ones in the back are extremely loose. Just hook those up under there. Might be a little bit easier to completely undo the fastener for the middle one because that's a bit of a tight fit. And once those are hooked on, we can line that up. And I believe this fastener from the factory is actually put in from the other side, so I will follow suit. If you're looking for something with the absolute most ground clearance that you can get, I think the Tusk Plate is definitely much, much tighter to the motor. The frame actually ends just right here, so there's nothing really past there to protect the motor from anything other than the skid plate itself. And to be honest, it is pretty close there. So I don't know. I mean, I guess no matter what, they're all going to be close on the bottom, so I don't know. It maybe would make me feel a little bit better to have a little bit more crumple zone here, but maybe that's just my OCD. It does seem pretty tight in there, though. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, if you're really going to be impacting something that severely, it might not matter whether or not it actually hits the motor. You might just end up twisting or bending something if you're really going to hit it that hard. I mean, this is a pretty intense, pretty thick skid plate, so being aluminum, it should take a little bit of an impact, but absorb most of it. This extra bit of metal here, rather than the sort of swooped cutout on the Ricochet plate, does seem like it will provide a bit of extra protection for the engine on that side. However, this definitely, I mean, seems pretty darn close. I've got spindly little fingers, and I can barely get a finger in there. So, I mean, if you really, again, did get a good impact here, I think, I mean, you've got enough structure here, probably shouldn't go too far, but it is pretty close to the engine. Now, the Tusk Plate definitely looks good on here, and everything that I've used made by Tusk in the past has obviously been tested and designed well, and I've not had any issues with anything. So my concerns about this plate may very well be completely unfounded and silly. I have no idea, it's just something I noticed, and it's just what I thought. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to pick one of these plates up, I will have affiliate links down in the description. Again, big thanks to Rocky Mountain ATV for sending me this stuff. I could not make videos like this without their help, so big thanks to them. Big thanks to any of you guys that use the affiliate links down in the description. It is the only thing that really allows me to do this, so big thanks for all of you who've been taking the time to use those. Until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, stay swanky, get out, enjoy this beautiful world any chance you get.